We've got a special treat for you tonight. This is a guy that a long-time regular here at the Improv. He's gone out to the West Coast. He's just back for a short time to visit with you and show you some of those comedy wares of his. Very funny man. Please welcome Kevin Rooney. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Rooney!
There you go. The man who wishes Ron Howard would die. One of those new gigs. Lots of new things happening. Well, folks, good evening. Nice to be back here in Los Angeles. New York, sorry. Beautiful New York. Love it here. Get up, get out in the morning, step in a pile of human excrement. Wonderful city to be in. But nice, nonetheless. I'm back to Los Angeles about a week and a half, so this will be my farewell performance. Guido, how you doing? Eat a lot of fried dough, do you, pal? Big meal down there in Atlantic City. Fried dough. That's what I want to spend $1 on. Fried dough. Well, let's see. What can we talk about then? Olympics, finally. What is going on with this fucking thing here? Good end reminded me of my Larry married life now. So, nice. Olympics over. Did you watch? Had a good time?
No.
Had a bad time. I had a kind of a bad time too. It's exhausting watching those Olympics. I get up Sunday morning, watch a marathon. God, I was exhausted after I watched those. Now, the Olympics, I like about the Olympics, it's supposed to be one country against the other. I think it'd be a lot more fun if we ran the Olympics the same way we do the juror selection system. Just pick the contestants at random. It'd be a lot more fun that way. A week before the Olympics, you get your event in the mail. Oop, Miles, think we're going to lose this one. Very sorry. Got the fat guy blocking the pole vault. Looks bad for America there. Too bad. I was getting a little tired of Jim McKay, too. Jim McKay, you like Jim? Jim doesn't even try and pronounce the contestants' names correctly. You know, he figures if you're not from America, you don't have a fucking chance. Go back where you came from. So here in Laney, Mwanda Papapula fucking something or other. You're over here in a canoe from some shithole in Africa. He doesn't have a chance. Get him out of here. I like boxing. Boxing in the Olympics was fun because boxers in the Olympics have to wear a helmet. That's good. That's smart. Professional boxers don't have to wear a helmet. Matter of fact, they're not allowed to wear a helmet. But for years, they've been required to wear a protective cup. Now, that's good. Although you think about the two organs these are designed to protect, you get an idea of what our priorities are here in America. You want to think about fucking? Well, fuck, pal. Make a decision. Pick the cup every time. So some good stuff happened at the Olympics, though, I suppose. I don't know, professional sports getting very tough to watch anyway because the guys are too big. I can't watch football players, they're too large. The only guy I can watch play football is the place kicker because he's a normal-sized guy. Interesting job, too. Kicks a ball through the uprights, that's his whole game. Great job to base a whole family's future on, though, isn't it? I mean, they must sit home and watch every kick like, it's up, it's a brand new washer-dryer. No college education, very simple. So I watch tennis now. Those are normal-sized guys. And I like to watch Martina Navratilova. She's a lot of fun to watch. Although, you know, she's an interesting woman. I used to want to date her. I thought she was very attractive in a weird kind of way. You know, I realized she's a lesbian, but she must have some interest in men because she used to be coached by a woman who was a guy at one point. Don't get me wrong, I think Renee Richards is the finest example of a self-made man in America. He's a guy who likes tits, went out and bought himself a pair. You can't date him and be him, pal, that's the way. You're squeezing everybody else's tits, get your own. Some good stuff out in LA. Of course, Ron Reagan's from Los Angeles. Think he's going to win or lose this year? He's going to win. Of course he's going to win. Of course he could die. If, in fact, he's alive now. He's too perky for an old guy, you know, too well preserved. I think he sleeps in a jar of formaldehyde in the mantelpiece. Of course, the Democrats can't beat him. Fritz Mondale looks too much like a Disney animatronics character. I like the fact that Geraldine Ferraro is running, though. I like that. A woman for vice president, that's a neat thing. But she's got a tough road to hoe because, you know, how sexist the country is. She has to do everything perfectly in order to get elected. You know, if she raises her voice just once during a debate, you know what every guy in the country is going to say? Oh, she's tense, she's irritable. Obviously her time of month. Can't put a woman like that in the office. I don't know, some good Democrats, some are glad they won. Ruben Askew. No one wants a president with a last name that means slightly ajar. Gary Hart. Why do we like Gary Hart? No one knows what he did, what he wants to do, but he looks kind of like Kennedy, has a good head of hair. Yeah, he'd make a good president. This is how we think in the country. Of course, Reagan inherited the country from Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy wasn't our best president, was he? Maybe not the worst, but not the best. You notice the media calls most living presidents at some point or another and asks them for advice on current events. They never call Jimmy Carter, do they? He's just down there in the South like, hey, I'm alive, I have an opinion, ask me. The media would rather try and contact Truman by Ouija boards and call him. And of course, poor Jimmy couldn't get reelected because he had to run with that family of his around his neck like a grindstone. Awful, lunatic group of people. Jimmy would have been better off killing them and running as a murderer than leaving them. And the daughter lived in a tree, and the brother took a leak on himself every time he turned around. And that old mother looked like an apple puppet. This is a very sad family. And of course, the country's falling apart. He's got to deal with that. And I travel a lot. The highways have happened. I always see this sign on the highway, bump. You ever see that? Bump. I mean, they know it's there. Why don't they fix it? You don't walk around your house putting up little signs, do you? You know, broken steps, dirty dishes. Space shuttle, we spend money on that. They're selling us the space shuttle as an idea of vacation spots. Anybody want to go to the moon for a vacation? Not me. I go on vacation, I like to get a little drunk, fall down, rip my pants. I want to go someplace, I rip my pants, I die. One to a spot trip, playing volleyball, bounce into orbit around a fucking rock. Space shuttle used to be fun to watch. Now it's getting boring, especially after you've seen Star Wars. That shuttle is just too slow, isn't it? You see people watch it like, what's wrong? Why don't they go to light speed? You know, they look at the astronauts, where's the Wookiee? There's no Wookiee. The Wookiee is a creature that was in Star Wars. If you follow that movie, I like politics. You guys interested in it? We want to move on to something else. We could. We'll stay. We'll stay where we are. I think Reagan is going to do well this year. Of course, I like to listen to Ron Reagan. He's got that interesting sort of jingle mentality. He's like a little commercial head that he lives in. You never know where he's coming from. Sells the AWACS to the Saudis one day, has lunch with Reagan the next day. It's like, Mr. President, what's your foreign policy? Well, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Although I think Reaganomics makes sense, don't you? I do. I think it's obvious if you're short of cash, it's probably because poor people are hoarding money. Clever man. I think if Reagan were a puzzle, he'd be one piece. You know what I mean? Real tough to figure this guy out. I don't know. He does have tough things to deal with. Russians are scary people. You scared about them at all? Nah. I don't mean in an egotistical sort of, I'll kick that furball's ass sort of. I think they're scared because they're bored. And you know the Russians are bored because they have a great space program, no automobiles. They would rather leave the planet than drive around their own miserable country over there. They don't have any good games either, like we have, like Pac-Man or Monopoly. The Russians invented a game where you put a bullet in a gun, hold it up to your head, pull the trigger, see if you live. And the guy who gets the bullet wins. They want out of that fucking country. The Mideast, these are great folks. Unless I'm wrong, they've gone totally crazy there now. They've been fighting for 5,000 years. It's genetic now, I think. You know, ever since they found out they could throw rocks, there hasn't been one on the ground in the same place for more than an hour. You know, it's like, ooh, Haji stole my goat. Whap, bang, hit each other. And I see this every day in the news. Every day, ceasefire in Lebanon interrupted by heavy artillery today. Now, doesn't it sound like a ceasefire in Lebanon is what other people call stopping the reload? Sad group. And we complain about people leaving the Mideast and coming over here to run 7-Elevens. But think about it. What guy is better equipped to run a 7-Eleven than a guy who used to live in Lebanon? You know, you walk in with a pistol, he just goes, what, no rocket, no jet? Fuck you, pal. I got shot in the head every day when I was Iran, remember we thought Iran was going to be a garden spot when the Ayatollah took over from the Shah? This country, how far back in time is this place now? Sherman and Peabody can't reach it in the Wayback Machine. So, guys from Alaska, good to see you. I worked up there in Anchorage. It was a nice spot. Very nice place. Welcome down here to the United States. Enjoying yourselves. See a movie while you're here. Something culture. Have you seen any films right in town? Not yet? Well, you got to check them out. Something you don't get in Alaska. A lot of new films on. You seen Star Trek 3? Yeah. Now, there's a good film. I like it. What I like about it, the characters are back the way they're supposed to be. You know, my favorite was Scotty because Scotty's a pessimist. He couldn't accomplish anything, and I sort of identify with that. Remember, every week on the show, television, they would ask Scotty, Scotty, can you get the ship up to warp 6? I can't do it, Captain. She'll blow. Then he crawls down the tube with a Phillips head screwdriver. The ship takes off like a shot. Scotty can't do it. Scotty, can you get me a cup of coffee? I can't, Captain. It'll spill before I get to the bridge. Why this asshole ever came on a trip, I don't know. Sad man. Some good movies, you know. A lot of unrealistic movies out now, though. 4. Wow. A lot of unrealistic movies out, though. If you take advice from a movie now, you can screw up your life. This happens a lot in films. It's happened in Rocky 1. Beginning of the movie, the hero meets an ugly girl. Okay? End of the movie, takes her glasses off, lets her hair down. She's gorgeous now. You ever try this in real life? Take a girl home, take her glasses off, let her hair down. You got an ugly girl who needs a comb and can't find one. As if I had a comb around the house. Well, guys, it's kind of like radio for you, just sitting there. Nice to look at the back of your Brillo fat head. Kitchen cabinet there. I'm doing okay. I got married. Any married folks out there? Not one, just a dark room full of people waiting for the end of the world. Why should have been on a future that won't be there? I like being married. I got married because I found out that women are attracted to married men. It's a good move. We took the traditional vows as well. That's kind of tough. You get to that until death do you part. That's tough. I looked at my wife and I thought, I may have to kill myself. I like being married. Singles life was getting too dicey in America. That's the problem. Too much emphasis on sex for people now. Too many things you have to know. That manual's getting very thick. People will correctly operate that opposite sex, and every year they discover something new. Last year they discovered the G-spot. I like that. Discovered it. And I don't know who this Balboa the vagina was who sailed up there. Somebody updated a ship and made the journey. Kind of like Spot Ho. They pulled over and now we have a new place to play. Actually, I did a little research on the G-spot. Apparently it's not on a woman's body. It's somewhere in her apartment. Check the cupboards if you're not doing well. You do get weird requests though now. You know, it takes time to meet somebody you like, and it takes longer to get sexually comfortable with them. So that one night stand got tough. It was more like an athletic event. You know, if I'm going to lie down and sweat, I just assume wrestle. Tell you the truth. And there's a time limit. There's acceptable holds, and you find out who won. That's the important. We do get these odd requests. On the road about a year and a half ago, I meet a girl, and she says, "Come back to my house." So I go back. We're in the dark, making love. All of a sudden, she yells out, "Spin around!" So I figure I'm a guest. I spin around, drive my knee to the side of her head, and knock her out. So, of course, we're married now, and I knock her out a lot. But it's a wonderful experience. Marriage is. We'd like to have kids too. I want to get started on it pretty quick because I'm afraid, after the many years I've spent alone, that I'm getting down to the bottom of the barrel sperm now. That sort of Kmart on sale shit that you get. Like I'm going to get that sort of wacky kid who's not quite finished. More likely to be a question in Trivial Pursuit than be able to play it. Who did Kevin Rooney have in 1985? The Muffin Head Boy. I don't want to have this happen. Kids would be nice to have too. Nice to have a little slave around the house. Kids are basically dogs that speak. You know, they run around, close to the floor, shit a lot. They're just like it. Big responsibility having a little baby too. You know, because you can't go away on a 2-week vacation and leave a bowl of food on the floor. Of course, you used to go to singles bars to meet women. That's an impossible place because there, sex is everything. You want that best possible person. Everybody wants that 10. You know, no matter what number you are, you could be a negative number. You want that 10. I have a friend who'll just hang in there, hoping that blonde gets just drunk enough she won't notice he's a midget with a tuberous growth on his forehead. He will stay there forever. People wait till the very last minute to make a decision. Then finally, last call, it's like nuclear war has been declared. You know, it's like, oh, you gotta fuck somebody, you! Not a strong selective making process. Well, folks, you've been almost alive. I appreciate that. We have college students in tonight, or no? That explains it. Colleges don't take smart people anymore. Where do you guys go to school, anybody? Iowa. Any place specific there, or just wander around the state with books? I go to school to look at a book. College is fun. I went to school in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Had a good time in college. Spent 12 years in college because I didn't care how long it took. I was determined to spend all of my father's money. I did. I hosed that bastard down good. Figured spank me when I'm a kid, huh, Dad? Whoops, another incomplete, another $5,000 out of your pocket. School was tough then because you had to smoke a lot of dope. It's an elective now, then it was required course. They're going to teach you about life. Remember that? They're going to elevate your consciousness. Timothy Leary was around, told everybody, take acid, you'll see God. Which I could never understand the logic of. I mean, if you're tripping your brains out, isn't God the last person you want to see? I think you're going to be on firm footing when you meet this guy. You know, not dancing around a living room in your underwear or something. Of course, dope. I never learned anything smoking dope. That was wrong. Except maybe what it's going to be like to be 90 or 100 years old. You smoke 4 joints, try and get ready to go to the store. And if you're done, go to the mirror for a half hour. Is my teeth? And look for the hat that's on your head for 2 hours. Ever drive, Stone? Drive for 3 hours, get out of your car to stretch. You're not at the bottom of your driveway. Ever candy? At least marijuana was better than cocaine. Cocaine, nothing happens to you. You just do everything faster. It's stupid. Silly. You're sitting around the house bored, you snort some coke, now you're twice as bored. It cost you $100. You're just sitting there like, yep, it's later. That's a good enough note to end on. You guys have been a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Kevin Rooney. Oh.